How can I have complete Emuna? It feels a bit impossible. Even after learning about it, it's not full Emuna, still effective, like always training your brain. Great question. I don't know who wrote this question. But one of you wrote this question. And you know what the answer to your question is? Young lady, tachtadol. The way you feel is exactly how everybody feels. Emuna is hard. To do a mitzvah is not so hard. To light a candle before Shabbos or before Yom Tov on time and make a bracha, shekadishanu b'mitzvesa v'tzivanu lahadlik nesha Yom Tov v'shechayanu, it's not so hard. To go to shul and daven is not so hard. To eat cheesecake, that could be a little harder. Depends how many pieces you have to eat according to your minhag, and how many different types you have to have, and how big a piece you have to have of each type to be yotzei the mitzvah of cheesecake on Shavuos. But Emuna, most people struggle with. The reason you're asking the question is because you look at everybody else and it seems to you that it's easy for other people. There's a wonderful story with the Tzemach Tzedek, with the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. We're here till 25 after, correct? A chassid came to the Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, and he says, Rebbe, I'm not sure I believe in God. So the Tzemach Tzedek said to him, why? He says, what do you mean, why? I've never seen God. God is invisible. He plays this game of cat and mouse with the world. We're never sure he's involved in our lives. He's hiding from us. You know, if Hashem would reveal himself, I'd believe in him, but because of the this game of hide and seek, I'm starting to doubt his existence in the world. So the Tzemach Tzedek gave him the strangest answer. No. So you're not sure about the Eibishter. He says, Rebbe, you know, you're a Hasidic Rebbe. You're in the Emuna business. You're supposed to sell neshama. You're supposed to sell Emuna. I'm telling you, I'm struggling with Emuna. And Tzemach Tzedek says again, no. So he says, Rebbe, are you listening to me? Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm struggling with Emuna. And the Tzemach Tzedek said the third time, no. But each time the Tzemach Tzedek said no, the chassid got more upset. And as the Tzemach Tzedek said no 4 or 5 times, the chassid was pushed, screaming and crying, Rebbe, how could you say it's not a big deal if I'm not sure if I have good Emuna? And the Tzemach Tzedek said, anybody who has bad Emuna like you is wonderful. When a person has a problem with their Emuna, and the problem with their Emuna eats them up, that's Emuna. Emuna is not simple, it's not. To live in Hashem's world, to have conversations, to feel like Hashem is with you all the time, which is what Emuna means, is a high madrege. And I think you would agree that when you're in a better mood, it's easier to feel Hashem in your life. When you get depressed, you get hungry, you get cold, you get afraid, because you feel vulnerable, Emuna becomes harder. You need the Eibishter most when you're the angriest with him. It's one of those funny things. When you want to kill God, you really need him, you know? First of all, you can't kill him. Second of all, they make another one. There's only one God. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. There's Eine. One God. But to struggle with Emuna is to have Emuna. For a person to say, I'm having a hard time with Emuna means Emuna matters to me, I want to have a relationship with Hashem, I'm having a hard time. That is a relationship. And you don't fix the relationship with Emuna by learning necessarily. You fix the relationship with Emuna by having fabrengens. And I think you fix the relationship with Emuna, with the Eibishter, by davening. And I don't mean davening in Hebrew. I know people who talk to God like I'm talking to you. Just have conversations. I don't think you have to embarrass yourself. You don't have to walk up Eastern Parkway when everybody's looking at you and say, God, what do you think of today's weather? You know. But people have conversations. I know a woman, she's older than I am, who when she was young, she was not frum at all. And she was the editor of a very, very secular liberal paper. A new age paper, you know, very fry kind of thing. And she wasn't from it all. Today she's such a chassidus that she's mamish. I think she's a tzaddikus. I think she's a holy lady. And I don't say that easy. She told me how she became frum. She was the editor of this newspaper. She took a year off from her newspaper to volunteer on a kibbutz in Israel, but she made a terrible, terrible mistake. That the kibbutz that she volunteered to work on, which is a freie kibbutz, was very close to the holy city of Tzfat. So every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, she'd put on her jogging shoes and she'd jog around the city of Tzfat. There's some kind of a trail. I've never been to Israel, so I don't know, but I'm assuming there's a trail around Tzfat. And she says, I found myself in conversation with God. This woman didn't believe in God. She found herself just talking to Hashem. And each time she found herself talking to Hashem, she would stop and say, you fool, you don't believe in God, stop talking to nobody. And then she'd keep jogging and then she'd find. She became frum because near the holy city of Tzfas, she found herself talking to Hashem. She kept on telling herself to stop doing it because it was stupid and she couldn't stop. Some people, Pashat, have the capacity to have conversations with Hashem like I'm talking to you. It's a really wonderful way to strengthen Emuna. But the direct answer to your question is, the reason you're asking this question is because you think you're the only one who struggles with Emuna. We all do. Struggling with Emuna is Emuna. If you didn't have Emuna, it wouldn't bother you. If I have a connection to Hashem and I feel like I want it to be stronger, that means I have a connection to Hashem, not to make it stronger. Now here's again a question that we could spend the whole hour on. Each one of these questions, these are really, they're deep, they're human questions. They're deep, they're great, they're not questions you would expect to hear from 18-year-olds. They're really good questions, but we're going to move on to the next one. Okay? Thank you.